another episode of Horror 365. Are you surprised yet? This guy, look at the eyes. Jimmy J is here rocking. This is not even anywhere near one of their best creations right here. Rocking one of these Roto Hocks, or should I say Creepy Emporium Props. See? Because we got Matt and Ruby on the show, our Horror 365 family members joining us today, as well as Jonny Sparxxx sitting in a hot seat. What's going on, guys? How are we?
Oh, we're good. Happy to finally make it on here.
It's been forever, but you know what? We made it happen. I got a couple masks here, and you know, it's funny enough. We were just talking about it, Matt. See, I got the part 6 over here. I know you're rocking it over there too.
Oh yeah, I got mine too.
Look at this. Unbelievable, man. We're going to be talking about a lot of your creations, your props, and future where you guys are, you know, thinking about heading which direction. We got John here because John's he's a cosplayer. Obviously, Jonny Sparxxx on the team. He builds some of his cosplays, and I think this is going to be like a match made in heaven or hell today. But
I'm looking forward to this.
I'm hiding the credit card, so I'm like, I'm gonna have one of those. We're
gonna have a QVC line over here.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. I'm also a collector, so watch out now.
That's I too.
So, you know what? I love your setup over there. Like, you know, Ruby, Matt, I love that. Just the visual right there. When I'm seeing here, the color scheme, the blues, and it really makes me feel like maybe this is going to be like a QVC kind of fucking deal right here. Is this going to be something like that? They're going to be displaying something, and John's here. John got the car. I don't know if I got any extra jingle going on here, but I might buy something. And what are you guys selling over here?
Christmas time. No better time than give to yourself.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. That's good to myself. So,
but I got to ask you.
I'll show some stuff off later.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. You have to. Yeah,
I'll just have to run down to the shop. It's just downstairs. Go get it.
I mean, I see some of the masks up there. Yeah, you got going on in the ghost.
Our collection, our ghost face masks that we've been collecting. We got a Gen 2 and some, you know, some of your assorted colors.
I want to take this one. I got to do it. I got to take it off the wall. I got to do it. Oh man, yeah, it's right here. I told you. Look at this masterpiece. Damn screen. This one right here.
Nice.
You guys
Japanese poster mask
created for me, which is on the wall, man. Which is masterpiece. I love this thing, and I can't thank you guys enough for.
No problem. It was meant for you. That's who it was made for, specifically for you.
Oh, listen, it screams Jimmy J. I'll tell you. Well, I would have been wearing that one, but you know, I'll tell you the truth. Even this one right here, and I know you were saying that this mask is just what'd you call this when I mentioned it?
That's our budget line. We normally only do those for like small events, you know, or conventions. Which we finally did our first one with you guys, you know, with the help of Waldorf, which was fun. It was great coming up there, you know, seeing everyone and actually meeting people. Because normally, you know, I sell this stuff, but I never talk to anyone afterwards. It's just a transaction and it's over. It's cool to see people's reaction to reinforce, you know, maybe I am doing something right, you know. When I see, like, I like when they pick it up and it like, you know, they got that look. They're like, you can see it in their eyes. They're like, "Wow, this is the real deal." So I know I did my job.
Yeah, you know? how that feel though, having that interaction with the fans, like for the first time?
It was great. But, you know, I didn't know how I would feel about it because usually I keep to myself. This is also the first time, you know, if anyone from my page, you know, follows this would be the first time they've ever seen me. I've never posted a picture of myself outside of costume, nothing. So this is also pretty.
We got the exclusive.
Yes, y'all be. So anyone that comes to this podcast will see me for the first time. I never post pictures of myself outside of costume.
It's nice when you could put a face to the product. You know, it's
yeah.
That's what a lot of people drilled into me. But I was like, it's my art too, and you know,
sure.
I want them. You know, now I'm at a certain point. Now I'm like, well, people probably want to know who's making this stuff.
Yeah, it's nice when you have a little bit more personalization, kind of. They can actually see, oh wow, okay, you know, this is the person that's actually making the products that I'm so enthusiastically purchasing.
Yeah.
So, and I've done that on many of my purchases. I get in there, I chat a little bit. I like to know who it is I'm working with, who I'm giving my hard-earned money to. So, and that's how you develop a fan base, because people will will look to you first if they're like the products and like you as a person as well. So Yeah.
Or like
sure.
they're not only just buying my mask, they're also buying the person behind it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was
Like,
sold. I was sold in the first conversation in that parking lot with you and Ruby when you came up here last year. Man, I was sold. This guy is a genuine guy, man. And Ruby, of course, you as well, a genuine young lady. So I appreciate you guys very much. And even the gifts that you bestowed upon me here, between each mask and the other one, and just man, dude, I like this one. I know you says the budget, but you know what? I had to wear this one. Matches the blazer.
Yeah. Jim, I don't think I've ever seen you look so good.
Yeah, all right, I know. I'm gonna start wearing this on a daily basis, man. Maybe more people talk to me. No, but guys, I want to ask you. I know it's a little off topic here, but I wanted to ask both you and Ruby, what was your introduction into horror?
So you want to start first, or you want me?
Well, I mean, mine was from being a little kid. My mom and dad would watch horror movies with us, and my favorite, and probably still my favorite, is Halloween. You know, they come on AMC, all the Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, all those, and so we would just watch those. So, ever since I was born, really, and so that was my introduction to horror.
Okay, fam, Matt.
So, mine was the great old Blockbuster days. You know, you go with your parents and they let you pick a movie, and you pick the wrong Jack Frost movie.
Or the right one.
Yeah, or the right one,
right?
depending on who you was. But then you're all sitting there watching it, and it's it's not the family one.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton. Sorry.
Yep.
Not Michael Keaton
at
all. But no, I'll tell you that AMC was a big one. During Halloween they played the Friday the 13th and stuff on there. They wore Part 3 out with me, which is one of my favorites. So like that's what got me into Jason. Making the mask. That's another story for later. But basically going for Blockbuster, AMC, and my friends stealing their older brothers' movies and bringing them over so we could watch them when they stayed the night. Like I never would have got into it.
Video store is where it started for a lot of us. John, what about you? Is it the same?
Yeah, I just think I was just exposed to it at a young age. Yeah. Had my older sister 4.5 years. Always with her friends and stuff, in and out, watching movies. I'm kind of showing my age a little bit now, but I remember seeing March of the Wooden Soldiers, right, when I was a kid. And I remember seeing those bogeymen. They were basically just, if you remember those costumes, they were so, now we would say it's so lame, but back then, you'd see the face up close and you see this hairy monsters. And I remember seeing that as a kid, and I was always enthralled by just the, something different or unusual. And I always just gravitated towards these movies. And then a good friend of mine, as I got a little older, turned me on to a lot of the offshoots, the Evil Dead, Creep Show, Phantasm, Pumpkinhead. So he turned me on to a lot of these movies that I hadn't even known about, And so I was always into fantasy stuff, dragons, even when I was young, collecting pewter dragons and things like that. So yeah, I always seemed to be exposed to it and gravitated towards it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. I also, like, if your parents were watching horror movies and then you happen to stroll into the living room or whatever like that and see what they're hey mom, what's going on, and
right.
you just,
plus being an 80s kid, growing up in the 80s, it's like you said, Halloween was the big thing. I still have my Halloween DVD with the lenticular cover, limited edition, like long before Blu-ray. So I have a lot of stuff like that. Just again, from the early days, seeing it just, and again, growing up in the 80s, it's these movies coming out. It's all the buzz. It's all the rage at the time. So you go and you watch them, and I've always loved that. And Halloween, always been into Halloween. So yeah.
Yeah, no, dude. Listen, all those the major franchises, they're staple, obviously, of the horror genre. And one of those franchises, Friday the 13th, and I know, Matt, this had to be your favorite franchise, if I had to guess, because you started with Roto Hocks, creating just hockey masks, and that's obviously your forte. That's your specialty. Talk to us about how you started Hocks and then transitioned obviously to Creepy Emporium. But talk to us about the start and how long have you been doing it for?
So, so that all like really started. Like I used to make my own costumes when I was a kid. You know, I was Ghostface a lot. Like I'm a big Scream fan too.
Oh,
Like like I like the first three. Like those are my favorite. Um, but I always wanted to make the costume best as possible. Then when I got into high school, you had to get a car, start getting your life together. So I kind of shelved it. We still, me and Ruby's been together since high school. So like I still collected masks. So like we had a few, but not like we do now. Then about say probably 2018, we did a Halloween party. I made my first costume in over 10 years. So I made it out of paper, like little paper mask. I still got it. It's in the shop as my memory. I made my first mask for me, which was an original character, and I made Ruby her first hockey mask out of the budget ones. Then the year, following, I started college. Then during COVID, we went to a collector card con, and they had these autographs, which she wanted to meet Nick Castle, so we started doing the conventions. So it's weird. It's trickled like over years, like here in touch. Then so September 2021 is the first time I made my first real Friday the 13th mask. I made my first one from a lineage mold, and I made her first full cosplay ever. Because we saw them at a couple of conventions we went to earlier in the year, and I said, let's do it. I'll make your costume, and you can go dressed up, and I'll make this piece. We'll go meet Kane Hodder. And, Bruce Campbell was there, too, at that event.
Nice.
And ever since then, it's gone. We met some really cool people in the cosplay community. And one of the guys, he really pushed me. Like, I saw his work, and he was so cool that he actually helped me a little bit to learn how to make my own props, just to get me started. After that, I kind of went off on my own. Like, he helped me a little bit. I'm talking about my Evil Dead chainsaws mainly. Okay. Started doing that. Then I met he's a really good friend of mine who helped me get a hold of these movie accurate blanks that I used, what I gave you for gifts. And we made a really good friendship. So he would supply me, then I started painting. And as I got better, he would help me get better too, because he'd reveal his secrets to me. Then I started acquiring my own movie lineage molds, just from going to these shows. Someone would be selling it at a table, I'd buy it off of them. Then I'd make my mold out of it. So I've only been doing this, realistically, I didn't start hocks until 2022. Because I didn't start making props until the end of 2021. So October would have been 2 years of me making stuff. So I'd say about a year or so into it. That's how long I've been doing it. That's how it started. It was real spotty. It's kind of weird because it was literally like I made these masks, then people were like, "You should post them on Instagram." I'm like, I don't want Instagram. I never had Instagram. I don't have Snapchat, TikTok. I had a Facebook, and I ain't updated in 13 years. I just got on there to, if I wanted to buy something off Marketplace or see where the conventions are. And then it just started going, and I was like, so people like my stuff. So eventually it got to the point I was like, okay, I'm selling enough where it's paying for it. So then, I was like, so maybe we should do something with this, maybe, And now we're here where I got so much stuff falling in my lap, I don't know what to do with it. But, that's part of it. It started as a hobby, and now it's turned into something a little bigger, which I'm excited for. It's brought me opportunities I thought I would never see, coming to fruition. It's pretty wild how it all started, and it snowballed quick. Because usually when I tell people how long I've been doing it, I only a year, seriously working on it. I still got a long way to go, but I'm really happy with where I'm at.
Yeah, listen, for somebody that's only been doing it, not even 2 years, creating props, you do great work, man. You do, you know, just looking at everything that you have here, other than even the mask, like the chainsaws that you put together. Where'd you learn how to craft? You just taught yourself, or?
So I've always been into, like, I'm mechanically inclined. Like, I've worked on cars, I've modified my bikes. You know, I come home, tear the toaster apart, you know, stuff like that. You know, drive your parents crazy because I took everything apart.
Damn, toast is only toasting one side.
Yeah, you know, like, I would destroy stuff because I like to see how it works. Then I try to put it together. And like when I was a kid, like I would, you know, tear my toys apart to make the toys I couldn't have. You know, it's like we couldn't afford them, so I would take, you know, these two action figures and make them into this one I want. You know, stuff like that, and repaint them. Then when I went to high school, I did auto body for a while, so that's how I got really good with like painting and shaping. Then I eventually got into maintenance. I'm a maintenance journeyman, and that's when I really got into like fabrication because we took, you know, machine tool and die. You know, I've already knew how to weld for a while, and we took basically sharpened all the skills I developed on my own and put them top par. And also with my job, I do some machining and some fabrication. So it really helped with the prop making because then I was like, okay, now I can take something that pays my bills and make something really cool instead of just, you know, repairing this machine that's the size of my house. You're like, yeah, it's cool, it's satisfying when you make it, you put it on there and it works. But you're just like, okay, I want to do something that makes me happy and a customer happy, or even if it's a gift to someone, make them happy.
Like the human interaction.
Yeah, like I've always wanted to be able to take stuff out of I want to take it off the screen and put it in your hands. Is what I want. Or even just let you see it off the screen, like even like in my cosplay and hers. Like I think that's the big thing with cosplayers too. We want to take from the screen and put it in real life in front of you the best we can. Because like we work on that stuff nonstop. Our costumes like are never complete. Like you'll say it's complete, then you'll wear it, and you'll come back from that event, and you'll be like, "Okay, this is what we got to fix for next time because I didn't like the way this worked. I think this could look better." You know.
Yeah, there's the evolution, as I like to say, the evolution
of
that particular build or character. I'm always trying to find improvements, add things on. So for sure, especially as cosplay, you know, you always, you know, find something you want to improve, change, whatever. Especially if it's a one-off character, you know, an original character, let's say. You always, and that's what drives me crazy because I'm always thinking, oh, I could add fog and I can add lights to that and I could add sound to this and I can, you know, have something moving in there. So yeah, for sure. It's always good to evolve, you know, your practices, building practices, and especially the cosplays for sure.
Oh yeah, like it looks like I move a movie set into our hotel room at these conventions.
Yep.
Because I do her scar when she does Evil Dead 2 Ash female version. So we started sculpting scars on her face. You know, I've done a live cast of her so we can actually.
Oh, nice.
One of our big things, we got 2 big projects with her cosplay this year. We're going to try to make Evil Ash from Evil Dead 2. You know, when he gets possessed, you know, by the Deadites, then we're going to try to get it done by the end of the year. I'll go ahead and say it. I'm going to try to do Army of Darkness, you know, Bad Ash, you know, where he's got the skull helmet, everything.
Yeah.
That's our goal for this year with hers because, you know, the costume never ends.
I did that Evil Ash cosplay back in at Monster Mania in Maryland.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it was the end of last year or I think it was the end of last year or the beginning of this past year. So the hard thing with that is the armor. See, that's what I always wish I could learn is how to make the armor. I'm using armor that I picked up some years ago from Immortal Masks. It's very nice, very expensive, very heavy armor.
Yeah.
So it looks cool. It's not original though, which, you know, something like that I was hoping to stay original with.
Yeah.
And but you know, it did the job. The mask and the helmet worked out okay.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, I always try to have fun. That's the key. Like I always tell everybody, don't take it too seriously, right? Do what you can, and then the key is having fun. Got to have fun with it.
Yeah,
you know, that's the key.
Because you can always upgrade it later too.
Yeah.
Enjoy it the state it's in now. You know, because what's the point if you're doing it and you're not happy, then there's no point to do it.
Absolutely, and and like I said, the interaction you have with the crowd, and you're having fun with the character.
Yeah.
I mean, all that, that grief and pain and suffering and late nights and
Oh yeah.
of crafting and staying up late the night before. Yeah, it's got to have some rewards. So for sure, and in your case, and same thing with mine. I'm not as skilled or advanced as you may be, but I just I DIY it. I go out in my driveway, my garage, I wing it, trial and error. There are a lot of trial and error when I built my crate, and a lot of trial and error. Made a bunch of mistakes, but motivated and willing, you correct them and you rebuild and you repaint and you resand and you go with the right wheels and the right hinges. And it's nice when you can actually have a vision and then you can craft it and bring it to life and then actually go out and interact with people as that character.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you see how much joy it brings to adults and children, and then and then hopefully inspire. Like I always say, it's nice to when you see the young ones over there kind of looking at you like scratching their heads, like they don't know if they should run, they don't know if they should smile, but that the wheels are turning. And so the hope, like with me, is that to inspire that next generation of horror aficionados, whether it's writers, producers, cosplayers, creators, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you on that. Like, one of my favorite things is I'm a little committed to because I do part 7 and part 8, Jason, and even though I can get away with just wearing the hood, I've committed to full face mask, like tight where I get mouth movement, and I love just scaring the shit out of people. I don't expect it, because we'll take a picture and I'll flip my mask up, they'll look over at me, jump for a second, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta get another one."
Oh yeah, that's it, man.
I always say, suck, but it's worth the reaction,
Sure.
Like it's not comfortable. A lot of people don't realize that either. Some of these costumes are not the most comfortable. They're
absolutely
hot.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how some of you guys do it. I think about, John, you come to my mind with Fluffy in that crate, lugging thing around, man.
Oh, it is. Let me tell you, I always tell people, like, if I go in and I don't come up, just roll me out in there. That's it. Save the money on the coffin. So
it's already built.
Yeah, that's it. Just toss me in the ground. I'm good. But yeah, that is it's not easy to wear. It's not easy to wear because I'm head to toe carpet.
Yeah.
There's no air movement in there, and that's why I look forward to a venue that has hard, like a tile or a concrete floor, so I can roll it around.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. We've only been to, so we went to Flashback. So I'm one of those people, like, if I'm playing a character, I don't care if I'm too short, I'll get platform shoes, whatever, because I want to look the part. Well, we were at this venue and we went to do a photo op, and I literally had because they had carpet with cinch cords, they had broke my boot right before a photo op.
Oh no!
I had to stand there with one shoe on and stuff.
You say one leg?
I really get what you mean, because carpet is like the devil when it comes to dressing up.
Yeah,
it's uneven. It can snag. I love concrete. I love tile floors. That is my favorite.
I remember
the convention's fault, but
no,
it's like I know what you mean, because I've had carpet kill me a few times at some of these events.
Well, that's it. And yeah, right. That's the big fear is you try to be strategic and plan. Okay, I know I'm going to this convention. I watch a video on it if I haven't been there before, just to see what the venue looks like. And especially when I'm in the crate, I have to Fred Flintstone it, so I'm just kind of shuffling.
Jump on your feet.
Yeah, and it's funny. My buddy who always comes to the conventions with me and cosplays, he's like, it's funny if you look at the video, it looks like you're just kind of floating across the floor, which is pretty because it's very smooth and slow. But hey, look, I remember that's what I had to do when I went at Monster Mania up in Cherry Hill when I got to meet Adrienne Barbeau. And I had to shuffle all the way across to the furthest end from the elevators to the pavilion where her table was at the furthest corner, and I had to shuffle along on carpet, downhill, uphill, and I was just praying. I was just like, please don't have a heart attack before you get there. Just
your legs probably on fire too.
Oh my goodness, it was a workout, and then one other fun story is first time I ever wore stilts. I did a stilt costume.
I've been wanting to do one.
Oh,
And
God.
it was it was pretty tall. It was like a 15-inch lift. So I had a first time out wearing stilts. I was on them for 5 hours at a convention over here in Queens, and I had to climb they were like, oh, they did the cosplay contest and it was a stage, so I had to go up about, I think it was like 6 or 7 steps. So I was like, okay, here goes nothing. I told my buddy, keep the camera rolling, because if I bust my ass and roll off the stage, we got to have that in the blooper reel forever.
Oh yeah.
So, but thankfully, I had a buddy stay behind me, kind of walk behind me with the stilts, and going up the stairs, my butt was like at his shoulder, so he was just kind of like just staying an inch behind. And when I got up on the stage, I actually almost did slip. One foot almost came out,
Oh, yeah, that's
because
scary.
going from carpet to the metal steps to the smooth stage.
Yeah.
I caught myself, and thankfully I made it down without incident. But it's people don't understand the
It's a lot
liability
of
of cosplaying. Sometimes it's like a little hazardous.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like, because like in my costume, since I want to be stubborn and fully commit, like not only am I in these lift shoes, I have one eye, then I have to, basically look through a toilet paper roll out of the other eye because the hunting mask blocks it. So I'm blind. Then I can't hear on top of it.
Yep.
It covers that.
Yep.
And usually you can only breathe out of the mouth if you got a really good mask.
Oh, yeah.
So you have little nose holes just for, looks, because you really can't breathe out of them.
That's
like,
absolutely. I put a water bottle holder in my crate.
oh, yeah.
You need to, man.
Yeah, I have a water bottle holder.
Hydrate. I mean, you're gonna die. There's no ventilation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to bring like straws, and like it'll run into my
Yep.
mask. But usually, like if I do like my part 7, where it's my part 8's not as hot, but the part 7's full chest and back, and legs. So the part 8 I don't get as hot, but like we actually have to take breaks, and you got really good costumes. I've seen your costumes. I've seen your stuff. So you probably have the same problem. When you need a break, you pretty much got to take it off.
Yeah.
To get to stop, especially at a big convention. Like we'll have to take my face off and my arms off.
Take my face
not
off.
like every 5 feet,
He's like, take my face off, Ruby. She's over here with feeding tubes, G tubes. Oh
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Once I have them on, like I'm useless. I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Like the part 8, the one I just finished recently, which I haven't even showed yet, like, because I actually sculpted most of that suit besides the face mask. But I sculpted the arms, the chest, everything for that one. I haven't showed it yet on any media platform. But like that one, I love it because it's cooler. I can use my hands. Like, it's I see why, people like to do that one more than the 7, but the 7 just looks so much better.
Yeah, you got to see if you can incorporate that cooling mat technology that they have. They actually have it like for for pets,
cooling,
for pets. Yeah, they have these cooling pads. It's like looks like a blue gel.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe there's a way you can incorporate that into those, like the top pieces or something.
Like strap them in
probably
there.
will.
Yeah, man.
One of my projects
some
this
ice
year.
packs.
Yeah, because one of my projects this year is to sculpt my own 7 suit from the ground up. So I have one that's mine, and then if I know I'm gonna do that, I can actually sculpt it where it'll fit right around those packs, so it'll fit me perfect.
Yeah, man, for sure. Right.
But
some pads, some cushioning, and keep you cool.
Yeah,
that's a home run.
Like the July conventions are horrible. The August conventions are horrible for me. But outside of that, like the October ones, I love them. Like September, October, I love them. And those yeah, you stay nice and acclimated.
Yeah.
So, Matt, what was the most challenging thing that you put together? Because I know you.
So, I'd say it has to be between that Evil Dead Kandarian dagger I did, Evil Dead 1. Or, you talking about costume or prop?
I mean, either or. Doesn't matter.
Tell us both.
I'd say the hardest prop is between the ED1 dagger and my Evil Dead 2 chainsaw, that my prop top that I did, because we ate so much chicken to make that dagger, because we bought the kit, and a really good friend of mine, he did a great video which helped me, guide me, but I did my own design because I don't want to copy him. Like, that's his art. So putting that thing together and molding it and learning how to process it to make it where I can make resin copies too was a nightmare. And I'd say it's between that and those chainsaws I made, because the chainsaws, they're special. They're a lot harder to make than people think. Like, every one of them's different. Like, because you get your bodies, when you cut them, they're all cut by hand. The tops are made by hand. The armatures, like, I make them by hand. I sculpt the handles for those. Like, I do a lot. Like, my chainsaws are probably my baby. Like, I'd say between those two props, and ironically, they're both Evil Dead props.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, my man. Nothing wrong with that at all, baby.
I love Evil
One of my
Dead.
favorite franchises ever.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Definitely one of ours too.
Yep.
I'd say those two. The costume wise, I'd say it'd be between part 7. I'd say my part 8, because I had to sculpt that from the ground up.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because I sculpted the part 8 from the ground up, everything but the face mask. I had COVID while I finished that too, so that made it even worse. Because I needed it done for flashback for a photo op, so I was sick.
Oh boy.
Working on it at home, and I'd say probably her Ash costume where it is now. It was hunting down the closest things to get it, then tearing them and weathering them and getting the blood stains right for a specific scene, because like, Ash looks a little different every scene. That's just normal for older movies. I'd say just matching her up where she was the female equivalent, because we didn't want to sexualize Ash at all. We wanted a female Ash that looked the part. We didn't want nothing out of range, because we're trying to be screen accurate, because technically there's a female Ash in the comic books, but we don't want that one. We're trying to recreate it as if she went to the woods and it happened to her, like Evil Dead 2. So that was probably really tough too, because like, you can't find reference photos for that. You can for the male, then you just kind of got to work around and make sure obviously I got to make sure she's comfortable in what I make too. That's another hard part, because some of the products you use, they're not exactly comfortable to wear.
Yeah, that's right.
I'd say those are probably my 4 things I had the hardest time with. Is that those chainsaws are death to me. Every time I finish one, I'm like, I'm never gonna do it again. Then I start on one again. Like 2 weeks later, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not making another one. Then boom, I'm starting on it.
It's like, I just started this other one real quick. I mean, listen, it's what you love to do, man, and those, they're very detailed from what I seen. I was like, how?
I'm glad you got to finally see the chainsaw and the dagger in person.
Yeah, and when you told me that you guys ate a whole bunch of chicken for that, I'm like, you put it so much.
I was happy.
I should have brought the real one up there when I came to the convention. That little event we did. I should have brought the real one with me, like my copy, because mine has the real bone in it. Because the one I brought up was the resin copy of it, which I actually starting to like those better than my real one. I don't know why. I just feel like they look better.
The way the color,
the way they take the color, but like my original one, the mother one that I made the molds off of it. Like, I should have brought that, because then you'd be like, this thing is heavy.
Yeah, no. Either way, what I've seen, like, at that convention, I'm glad you guys made it up here. Number one, and it was a cool time up there. Getting to actually see you guys in action with your display, with the hocks, with the chainsaw. But when I was like holding those things, man, I'm like, it's so real. Like, I just can't believe how you like created that. Like, maybe because I'm not talented like you guys here. All 3, you know how to put things together, but it was just so many questions came to my mind when I seen what you had going on there. Like, how much time does this take? How do you even start? Where do you begin? Like, what do you start building first on it? Like,
the chainsaws takes me about 6 months. I could do them faster than 6 months. It's just that you do get to a point on them, you get so aggravated with it, because they're all similar, but they're not the same, because because I buy the bodies that are correct for the movie. Like, I hunt these down on eBay. you know, sometimes like I'm not even building a saw. If it pops up for a good price, I'll buy it so I have it. Because I got 3 bodies downstairs right now.
Yeah, don't say that too loud. There might be somebody listening. You got bodies downstairs.
Our agent just hopped
chainsaw
on.
bodies.
Chainsaw
bodies.
Let's correct that. Yeah.
I got 3 bodies downstairs right now.
Yeah. But you know, yeah, like the daggers, even they take a while because I'm the blades on the daggers. I make the blades. Like I don't buy them. But I don't make them like a real knife maker would. Like I make them for prop purpose. So like I'll use steel. You know, if someone wants aluminum, like I'll do them out of aluminum. But I know they're not going to want it because you know aluminum soft, it bends easy. So that's why I just use steel.
Yeah.
Then it solves both problems. And you know, I wax the blade and I let people know when they buy it. You know. But like my original one downstairs, I built it a year and a half. Actually, what is it? I think it'll be this month is when I finished it, like a year and a half or a year or 2 years ago. I don't remember, but I've never oiled the blade at all. It's never rusted because I polished. Yeah, because I polished the steel, so it's hard for it to really rust. But I don't know. I do have a question for him after we get done with the statement you were saying.
No. I was just curious, and like, you know, how you guys, where do you start? How do you put it all together? Like these props and whatnot. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming that the chainsaw is like that's your baby, like you said, that's your prized possession.
Oh yeah, that dagger are my 2 favorites. I
So,
want to know what's his favorite. Like was it the fluffy setup or any other one?
Is my favorite cosplay or character or
Yeah, your cosplay.
I could tell you it's the most well received for sure. I sometimes I can't even get into the venue because there's so many people that come over outside because they just so it's funny when I first get to the conventions, you know, check in early, whatever, I'm rolling in, and people are taking pictures of the crate. They think it's a prop, and people have asked me, "Oh, is that for sale?" You know, and I'm like, "No, no, no." I said, "I'm going to be in there later." They're like, they're like, "What? What are you're going to be in there?" I'm like, "Yep, full fluffy everything,
Yeah,
working lights, fog, sound, the whole thing." You know, and that was my goal. Is I really wanted to, like you said, take it out of the movie and put it into real life. And so when I go rolling through a convention, it's just people do double takes. They're like, "What the hell is this?"
that box wasn't there before.
Yeah, like what is this monster coming out of the box? So that's definitely my most well received out of the bunch of cosplays that I have for sure. It's because I've never seen anybody at any conventions, and I'm going now 5 years. I think I started 5-6 years. I'm going to conventions. I've never seen anybody else with with a fluffy cosplay period, let alone a life size crate and working components. You know, I go in there, I close the lid, I have the lights, the blue and red lights on there. This just recently I added a light up backdrop with the lightning bolts. So when I open the lid, it lights up. When I close it, it goes off, and you just see the blue and red. So like I was saying, for some cosplays, we look to create original creatures, or we're not as concerned about accuracy. But for Fluffy, I really wanted to make it take as much of the film and bring it to life. So and that's, like I said, the evolution. So I have a few more things about it that I want to do to it. As Jim knows, I'm looking to motorize it. So
that would be really nice.
Yeah, and it would save my calves and my poor feet a whole lot of I started out with normal looking feet. Now they look like hobbit feet. After having to shuffle around, knocking them back and forth into the box. It's but yeah, Fluffy is definitely the most well received for sure. And I do Tarman from Return. That's a very fun cosplay, well received. And then a bunch of others that I do as well. They're all well received because I try to do offshoot characters, ones that you don't see very often.
Yeah.
So, and Jim knows I'm working on a few others that if I can pull them off, will be something really fantastic, and
Oh,
which may be something I could work with you on as well.
oh, yeah,
So
just shoot me a message.
yeah, for
I would
sure.
love to, help out. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. I'd love to collaborate with you on that. And like I said, I'm kind of like I say, I'm dangerous enough to try almost anything once. And so, like I said, doing the crate, building the crate, uh, just being a DIY guy. I'm a low voltage tech. I'm not a carpenter or anything like that.
Yeah,
So I'm into audiovisual stuff, which helps me with some of the things I do with the cosplays. But as far as the building and the carpentry, I know you mentioned you weld. I'm going to learn to weld so I can work on the motorization with not only the crate, a few other cosplays that I'm going to start building,
yeah,
and just kind of, like I said, I want to bring that, the film, this a part of the movie, the character from the film, and bring it to life. Especially, I'm going back in time to 80. You have a lot of younger people at the conventions nowadays, so that these newer generations, I'm trying to share the history.
the past.
Yeah, 80s. I'm big in the 80s, and then I'm going back to do Nosferatu and probably an original Wolfman, but so those I want to be as perfect as they can be. So it's funny because when I do the Tall Man, and somebody, like I said, some of the younger kids will be like, they'll come over to take a picture. They'll be like, and they're like, oh, what movie is that from? So they won't know. And I tell them, hey, Tall Man, 1985, Return of the Living Dead, go check it out. So I like to think that I'm spreading some of the history,
Oh
right?
yeah, because they
Yeah,
put it with a memory now.
yeah, I'm saying like the origins. It's nice to have some of the origins.
Listen, there's so much more out there than
Yeah,
commercial, like even nowadays. And I love the franchise. Scream, to even the Terrifier. Terrifier is hot right now, but a lot
yep,
of the younger generation, they need to be put onto the older films from the 80s, the
for
70s,
sure.
even
What brought it up, you know?
Yeah,
Universal.
for sure. And that's what I like to bring out there. I love bringing out these the vintage, dare I say vintage, older characters, uh, franchises that I think kind of kicked off where we are now. If it wasn't for some of these earlier movies, like to me, Creepshow is one of the greatest anthologies.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
It's my favorite. The event we just went to, and yeah, we went to Scarefest, and they had a creep show reunion, and I went nuts. And pretty much all of them were there. Like they got
yeah,
a new 4K poster that Shout Factory put out.
yeah,
Had
that's
them all
nice.
signing it. It was so. I love
Well,
creep.
all I know is next time there's ever, I mean, I've met them. I've met uh, Adrian Barbeau, Tom Savini. I got a really nice meeting with Tom Savini when shortly after the crate was, before like the backdrop and everything was on it. Had a nice
Yeah,
interaction with him. I met what is Tom Atkins, right? Tom Atkins. I met him, but I didn't have the crate with me, so it would be awesome to have if there was a reunion, and I would load up the crate and drive almost wherever I had to, if I could, to get in costume and get a group photo with everybody.
Oh, that would be amazing, man.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about that too.
for sure.
they did a group photo op too. That's too late now, or I would have.
Yeah,
Because they even had what's her name? What's George A. Romero's wife's name again? It slipped my mind, but she was there too.
okay,
George's wife.
nice.
We got to meet. Dude, it was cool. Like
Yeah,
I was a little nerd. I love Creep Show.
me too. It's
Dude, you can tell. Yeah, you had Jimmy like soon as I saw your Fluffy, like that's all I know you buy is Fluffy. That's what I tell him.
Fluff.
The fluff monster.
Yeah.
The fluff miser.
Yeah, great
Thanks.
job.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and again, I wanna improve the body portion.
Yeah.
And again, maybe something we could talk about,
Oh yeah.
collaborating on, because like I said, I wish I had time and the play a shop to really learn how to work with latex and silicone and foam and bodysuits and things like that, because I have so many crazy ideas, man, for builds and costumes and cosplays. It's just I don't have the knowledge to sculpt and things like that. So
I'll tell you this, I don't either, but I'm learning.
okay,
I know enough to be dangerous,
right.
but I'm willing to help you out as much as I can.
All
It'd
right.
be a conversation, obviously not on here because we'd be talking for
Absolutely.
hours
For
about it.
sure.
Like,
For sure. Yep.
because I got some cool stuff that's going to be coming out, because I've sculpted my own stuff. I've made molds.
Yep.
I've done life cast now. Life cast is going to be big for what you want because
Yep.
you want it to fit you perfect.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I got some cool stuff coming
Okay.
out.
Well, talk to us. What kind of stuff? Like Matt Ruby,
So
unveil it. Anything?
can't talk too much about it, but we should be working on a short film this year. I'm really excited for that. Pretty much all I can say is, me and Ruby's the writers on it, and
You guys are writing it.
yeah, it's already written.
Oh.
Trying to think what I could say because the people I'm working with, we have an agreement. But I am the writer. I'm the special effects. I will be acting in it. I will be directing in it. Ruby will be acting in it. And one of the people I'm working with, he's going to be shooting it and directing. And I got another guy that's going to help out with makeup and whatever else we need.
Excellent.
We got our little crew assembled. But we do got that project this year. Hopefully.
When do you expect to release it? When do you expect to have it released?
I was wanting to have it done by July, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be end of year now.
Okay.
Because, life things happen,
Right.
because, of course, I think I'm one of the main funders of it, the project.
Right.
So, I got to get my stuff together too. But that's part of what the molding we've been doing lately, especially on the character she's going to be, which is going to be really cool. I can't wait until we get to the point where I can reveal it.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna ask that. Oh.
When I can, as soon as I get a date when we're gonna start shooting, then I've got to have another meeting.
Matt, I'm a little upset, man. I thought you guys. I thought I thought you can give us an exclusive.
I can't do it yet, but I will. As soon as I get the green light, I will come to Horror 365 with the.
You're the man. Now listen.
Keep us in suspense.
Yeah.
I got my concept drawings drawn up. I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be super short. It's basically to show what we all can do. That's what we want this little short film to be. To show
part of your resume.
Yeah. So we can get that, then
Well, so is your goal to go towards more commercial work, like making props and stuff for film, or is it to do personal commissions, sell at conventions, what or all of the above?
So my goal is to eventually get it to the point where I work on indie films. I don't really necessarily want to work on big films,
Hey, unless those seven-figure checks come your way.
If they do, then
maybe.
Yeah, I'll reconsider.
It's kind of crazy because when this all started, I remember when I started the Instagram, I was happy when I had 10 followers. I ain't got a lot now, and I'm happy with everyone that I got. I'm glad they're there because they like what I do. That's what means the most to me.
Of course.
But I just remember, I've gone from, just 10 people thinking what I make is cool. I got only around 800, which, cool. I don't worry about the numbers. They don't mean nothing to me. I want my stuff to look good. To now, I met all these cool people. We travel. We go to a lot of conventions. So we met a lot of people, and now we're getting opportunities. It went from a small hobby to now I got, meetings. Then I got projects.
Right,
it's kind of wild because, sometimes we're sitting there and I'm just like, man, we got so much to do. I'm like, thanks, dude. This is a good problem to have.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's kind of wild to think that I'm finally going to get, I've always wanted to do a film.
Yeah. Because what's going to happen is people will see your work, like someone like me, and I'll be like, oh, can you make, what you're talking about, all these Evil Dead props? And I'm thinking, I need a chainsaw. I need a Kandarian dagger. And, so now I'm thinking, so you got to be careful what you wish for, right? Because once you're putting your stuff out there and it's really good quality work, like you do, then collectors are going to be like, hey, I want one of those. I need it. It's so now you got your hands full, right? Because now somebody wants a chainsaw, or 5 people want chainsaws and 2 people want daggers. And so
it's wild because it comes in waves too. You know, like sometimes I'll sit there for 2 months and like the business side will be calm, but the other side will be riled up, and that'll calm down. And I'll be okay, we can chill. Then I start getting orders. I'm just like, it's like when like it's a good problem to have. It's just weird because you don't think about that when you start doing this kind of hobby. Like you don't plan on it, happening. Because I feel like if you do plan on it happening, you're doing it for the wrong reason, and it reflects in your work.
Mm-hmm.
It just
well, passion. When passion's your motivator rather than money, then you don't have to worry about the money because your products are going to sell themselves, and the money will come.
Yeah.
So that's for sure.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, like I talk to some people. Like luckily, I got great support. Like the people I work with, my family, my friends. Even though my friends really ain't into this stuff, like they support me. But like I'm lucky on that part because most people get in this hobby, like everyone tells you you're wasting your time. Like that's what I've learned most. Which sucks for people that have that situation. Luckily, I don't.
Right. Of
So,
course.
you do good work. I mean, your work speaks for itself, man. And Ruby, both of you guys. I mean, it's tremendous. I mean, I can't even draw a damn stick figure, let alone put together, anything that you guys do. So it's
talent. If y'all saw me draw, you would run. I'm not that kind of artist because my dad was an artist too, but like his style art, that he did, I can't do. Like he drew trees, he did abstract, and I'm like all death and destruction. Like, color opposite, like I like bloody, gruesome stuff.
So he was the Bob Ross, and you were the
It's funny you mentioned
the
that.
Jason Voorhees, right?
Yeah, because that's who he looked. When he started doing art, that's who he looked up to was Bob Ross because he watched.
Didn't?
When he was in high school and all that. When he was in school, they play Bob Ross and art. Back when they let us have art, in school.
Yeah.
Before they beat creativity out of people.
Yeah.
That's a subject for a different day. I'm a little sore about that. They put Bob Ross on, and at the end, after the episode would end, then they would try to draw what Bob did, and the art teacher would explain it. That's what he used to tell me.
Right.
Then
there was only one Bob Ross. With that voice and the hair and the way he did the pretty little tree right here. I wasn't even into the artwork. I just loved listening to his voice, and then it got drawn into the artwork, and I couldn't believe what it would look like from
at the end, especially when you
to end. Do it. I'm like, what is this guy doing? And I couldn't believe how nice it would work out, right? Kind of like how when I started building my crate, I was like, what this pile of shit I got in front of me? What am I doing? And I was like breaking it apart and starting over. Oh man, my elbows hurt so much from all that sanding I had to do because it didn't work. The lettering didn't work out. This first coat of coloring and stains didn't work out. It's like but you appreciate it more. You appreciate it when it's done.
Bittersweet, it's just one of those things, man. It's bittersweet. Like, you started. It's a pain in the ass, but when it's done, it's like the best thing you ever created. It's
I had a friend.
So that was the question I had too.
Yeah.
So I saw, I was on, Instagram the other day, and there's like the trend where it's just like, what's the thing you look at and you can't believe you made? What is the one thing that you've made that when you look at it, you can't believe that you made it?
Aside from a mess? Oh no.
Yeah. Well, we know yours is a mess.
I think we're all a little good at that.
I'm still out here with the broom and the mop cleaning. So.
Yeah, that would be my question. Even you, Jimmy, like seriously, what is the one thing that you have done or made that you can't believe that you did it? Like no one else, like outside of guidance, but like you made it happen. You know what I mean?
I'll let John start it up.
Oh, okay. We got enough time, Jim?
Well, we got. Oh yeah, I'm looking here. 6 minutes, but if it goes, I'll just resend the link.
Okay. Well, the crate is the biggest thing that I made. The cosplays I've worked with other studios because I really wanted them to look right, and I know my limitations. I'm realistic. I have realistic expectations of myself, and so I would get those cosplays and then accessorize them with lights and fog and sound, maybe little change a little color or something, a little paint work here or there or something, just add to it, build off of it. I have that one stilt cosplay that I was mentioning.
Yeah.
It's an original creature design. So I said, okay, this guy's 7.5 feet tall. And then what I did with that is I took part of that and I converted it into a movie Krampus cosplay. And then I also, so I mixed bits and pieces. And then I had a guy from another studio make a 8 foot tall custom axe that would light up eyes, like goat heads with eyes on it. So I'll see the cosplay and then I know I can't build it, that part of it, like the suit part of it. And then I'll go to somebody and ask them to make the weapon. And then I'll do the things that I can, add electronics to it. But the crate is the one thing. I mean, the mask and the claws were from Death Studios, and then I didn't like the way it came from the studio, like for my purposes. So I sent it out to another studio that I know, and that guy stripped it down, stripped the hair, stripped the paint. He repainted it, and then I sent it to another guy that I know, and he did the hair. Because again, I wanted it to be a certain level of quality.
Oh yeah.
And then I parted out with the suit, got the breastplate separately, and then the crate I built. That's all me. I built the entire thing, like I said, through the whole trial and error process. And so every time it's in my garage, and every time I go in the garage and I look at it, I kind of chuckle a little bit, and I'm like,
that's how you know it's it right there.
Yeah, I'm like, you're a dumbass. I can't believe you get in that thing.
That's how you know right there.
But yeah, but I love it. And every time I go in and out of my garage, because that's where I keep my supplies and my tools and equipment, I look at it, and like I said, it gives me I get a little smirk, a little chuckle, because I love seeing it. And then I start thinking, okay, what's next? What's next? I can't wait to motorize this thing and do there's other things I want to add to it. And then aside from the cosplay so about 10 somewhat years ago, I started doing this very big Halloween display at my house. So I'm a corner property, so I have a little piece of property to wrap around. And that blossomed quickly into this massive thing where I had friends, half a dozen friends coming over, dressing up, being scare actors, anywhere between 500 and 1,000 people showing up. Just this, we were, I was in the local newspapers several times. Word would get around on social media, and so a lot of people were coming from other neighborhoods, and so that's something I started so many years ago, blossomed into a nice thing. It's kind of withered now a little bit over the last few years, just due to personal matters and timing with the pandemic kind of shut things down, and that kind of changed things a lot. But there are times where I look at those videos and I look at everything and all of these animatronics, because I'd build torture chairs and these walkthroughs. These walkthroughs, people would come through, and we'd be set them all up with, again, lights and fog and sound and animatronics and all this kind of stuff, pneumatic props. And so I look at that and I go sometimes like, holy crap, I can't believe I put this all together.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully, as Jim knows, and we could talk off recording, that some things I have planned. So I really, if things come to fruition, if I can get these visions that I have in my head and actually bring them into a convention, it's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah, for sure.
Could we mention anything on the show, John?
So my goal is to motorize the crate, and then I'm gonna make it. That's where the welding comes in. Make a universal type of a base, in which I can then make. I'm gonna build a 6-foot coffin. I'm not sure if it's going to be a traditional or the original Nosferatu. It'll probably be the original Nosferatu coffin. And my goal is to place that on the motorized base. Obviously, of course, do a legit Nosferatu cosplay, and be able to drive that around in the conventions in the coffin. And then I can create the whole scene where the lights are inside, the fog is inside, the sound, and open the doors. Out comes Nosferatu. It would make an incredible photo op scenario. Just be a ton of fun. And then, of course, with the Tarman, same thing with the barrel. Create the barrel. I can sit in the barrel. I can actually drive this thing around. I can come out of the barrel. Whole thing, lights, sound, fog, the whole thing, the music playing. And then, so those are the three I want to be able to, like I said, build the one base and be able to swap out the 3 different cosplays. and so it saves space and money. I don't have to build 3 separate mechanisms. And then the other thing is, which I mean, this may be far off in the distance, but this guy right here.
Oh my god, pumpkin is my favorite.
Yeah, so I was, the plans were underway. I had a gentleman who actually had made other cosplays for me. We were going to do a life-size pumpkin head full build, and so unfortunately things were underway. He had a bail, and so it never went anywhere. But I'm going to probably try to whatever. It wasn't going to be the professional degree that it would have been if I was able to complete it with that gentleman. But at this point, like I said, I'm almost ready to try anything dangerously once. And so I know there's a couple of tutorials that I've looked at, and so I'm gonna try to bring some sort of pumpkin head. May not be as big as it was gonna originally be, but I'm gonna try to do something with that, of course.
That's dope, man. I've never seen anybody with a pumpkin head.
Yeah, to me, that's one of my grail cosplays I'd love to bring to a convention. So
that'd be amazing. I wanted to do it too, but I'm like really big on if you don't have the body. Like me, I don't have the body type for it, so I don't want to be it.
Right.
Because I know I wouldn't look right. You look like you have the perfect frame.
Right,
like,
right.
Get everything. You get up, you'll look good when it's done. Really good. I know I wouldn't. I'm too big.
Gotcha.
But
that's okay.
Screaming with me and hanging out.
No, look, there are cosplays I'm just not built for. There are like Jason X. Something I love Jason X. The costume.
Do so bad.
Yeah, but I don't have the frame for it. So hey, look.
Yeah, well, you know what, man? I got to tell you right now, Matt. I look at you. I see perfect Jason built, man. Dude, you're jacked.
A lot of people think so, and I think I'm too big still. I'm trying to get smaller.
No, dude, no. Honestly, it's perfect, man. In my opinion. And then John, I see you. Honestly, I think you'd kill it with Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. Well, Chest of Souls is underway, so
I'm not trying to call you ugly. I'm just saying.
It's okay. Listen, I have no problem wearing a mask.
Look at this. Yeah, no, man. And you, speaking of Krueger, Matt, just
what? See something?
Yeah, we're
rolled on over there. Yeah,
show up.
Chest of Souls.
Show us what you got over there.
Yeah, let's see.
Snuck up on under the
tickle my fancy.
Talking about the new product line I'm gonna be doing next year. This is the prototype. This is a part 1/2 glove. It's a proof of concept.
Nice.
Mainly. I got to clean up the stalls up there because they're not supposed to be that dirty. But I made the blades from sheet metal because I didn't want to pay $200 a blade for a concept glove.
Wow.
But yeah, used the brass, used the copper tubing like they did for the first one.
Nice.
Got the closest glove I could. But these will be coming out next year. It's just funny you brought up Freddy Krueger, and this is one of the things I brought upstairs. This is my prototype glove I will be offering. This is one of our new products next year. I'm gonna try to do part 1, 2, and 3 this year.
Okay. Yeah, because I just picked up the glove from Trick or Treat from
they're good.
From 3.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with it is that it's just the way that the fingers themselves are spaced out. It's so where they riveted the metal portion onto the glove.
Yeah.
My pinky doesn't get up far enough into the metal portion, so the pinky just flops over. I can't pull.
That might where it bends. Overextends.
So either I'm going to return it or I'm going to break the rivets and move it up. So I mean we could talk. I have no problem getting a custom piece for it for sure. So
once I get them rolled out going, I'll get with you and see if you're interested. Then we'll try to make it to fit your hand.
Yeah.
Your small pinky.
Yes, my hey. That's how rumors get started,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm excited about that. I know Jimmy's one. Dream Warriors.
Yeah, Chest of Souls, baby. That's my favorite. I love that when he rips open the shirt, and they're all like,
yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Are you gonna have gonna have movement on the chest, like John? Is that what you're planning on?
Well, so I was looking into that, of course. And so one guy, what he did, I found this one guy who was selling a chest of souls. What he did is he had like a fake left arm, I think it was, the arm that didn't have the glove. So he had the glove, the right hand with the glove, and he actually would use his hand. So let me see. So he would use his hand that would operate one of the faces.
Like a puppet.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But I don't know how that, again, a little trial and error, maybe. But at the very least, Jim, like I said, I'm going to probably either run some LEDs into the eyes or something and have a little fog come out from within the shirt, something.
Yeah.
So,
They got little stepper motors you can use too to make the faces control.
Right.
But,
exactly right.
Stuff.
Right,
I think that would be cooler than you can just set it where it runs and because you can put a thicker pad under your shirt to keep it from moving.
Right.
When you open it, they can still be moving, or you can set it up where you put a switch on it and you open it.
Right. Right. Yeah. Something. Yeah. Something. Some way to trigger the motion. I know the one I was looking at. Again, I just started acquiring the pieces, and the glove was the first part. So now I've been looking at the chest, the chest, the mask. I'm looking at all my stuff is latex. I don't have any silicone masks. So I was looking.
Silicone.
Yeah, I'm gonna venture into silicone for this because I want the best fit and the more realistic
face movements.
Exactly, movements. And so yeah, again, I thought about servos, some sort of mini servo or something.
Yeah.
But again, so my goal would be to get it started, get out of the gate with it, show up to a convention at least with something, and then have it evolve from there. Like you said, get it out there.
Get it going.
Yeah.
Then when you wear it, because like for us, like we do for the convention, we even do a test run on our costumes. Like we'll put them on, make sure nothing's torn since the last one, and make sure anything new operates the way it should.
Oh yeah, yeah. You try to avoid any mishaps because I remember I was at NYCC, New York Comic Con, and I had my stilt costume on, and one of the bootstraps kept coming loose.
Yeah,
and so I was so I couldn't walk like the normal gait. I had to lift the leg straight up and then move it. Otherwise, I was going to lose my footing. And that was, and if you're not familiar with the Javits Center in New York City, it's a massive place, and you've got to be prepared to do a lot of walking if you're at NYCC. So I was like, son of a bitch, of all places, like I got to start, these bootstraps are going to loosen up on me in the Javits Center. I'm like, you freaking kidding me? So that was, that wasn't fun.
We'd like to make it up there for that one. We're trying to travel further up north now. We're trying to get some conventions and, up north. Because we really ain't done many. Like, I want to go to Monster Mania. I've never been to it.
Yes.
We've done a lot of Days of the Dead, a lot of horror rounds. Scarefest is our favorite.
Okay.
Scarefest, speaking of which, man, I told you this too, guys. I want to make it down there next year. I plan on Scarefest. That's the last one of the year for me. Hopefully, I can get some of the team, to come down with me. In October. So
we're gonna need a big ass van with all my shit, Jim.
Listen, we'll get an RV. Then we'll do it hippie style, bro.
RV style, baby.
Make sure y'all stay in the Hilton. Let me go check on that. Hold on.
All right, there's a big.
Sounds like some of those props are coming to life.
Yeah.
You weren't playing around, man. You really put everything into them. So Ruby, while we're waiting for Matt to come back, so obviously you cosplay, you're the moral support to keep the big guy moving. Do you craft as well?
So not to the extent that he does. Like, he's teaching me. I help, like, especially when we're like mixing the chemicals and things like that. But he's the artist where the finished product, like the painting and things like that, that's him. I tried. It's just not there for me yet, as for the painting, but more of the
she's the model.
And he likes to say the model. Yeah, I help with the making the masks and things like that. But he loves He loves showing me off as the model for the stuff.
All right.
She's also the nurse on standby. If something goes wrong, right? Am I?
I didn't hear her.
Do what?
You're like the nurse on standby.
Oh yeah.
Just in case, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I'm waiting for the time that she's gonna be covered in blood with the chainsaw hand, and she's gonna have to respond to someone at one of these conventions.
Oh boy.
I've been waking up from like you having a heart attack, and then you got this bloody person giving you. You know?
What's going on here? In cosplay. I mean, that's content. As long as the guy lives, we can show it.
Right. Laugh about it later, right?
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Was it?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
No, say Matt. I was just asking Ruby if she was crafting as well. So that's
She tries.
while you stepped. Yeah. So now we know we got it. So you send her out to the toxic area to do all the chemical mixing.
Yeah.
And you're inside crafting nice with clay. Right?
Yeah, go over there with the chemicals.
Yeah.
At least I know the proper PPE.
Yeah.
All right.
We do use respirators and all that. A lot of people don't in the hobby.
Oh no.
They think just because they got a strong fan blowing that it helps. It does not. Like
Yeah, just look at me. That's right.
Like some of these masks made out of resin that I do, like I had to wear full face respirators with them because they put off so much dust, and it's just to keep it off of me and the fumes it creates, because it gets pretty hot when I'm grinding them out.
Yeah, I've actually returned a couple of products. I've returned a couple of products that I bought, masks particularly, that the smell was still so bad.
Yeah,
I couldn't wear it for more than 20-30 minutes without getting a really bad headache. And I was just like, I can't, I couldn't wear it.
I usually let people know, like if I make a mask for them, like custom, or usually I don't list my products until they've off gas completely.
Oh, okay.
So the fumes are gone, or they're so low. Like obviously with like anything made out of latex, from my experience working with it, usually the smell's gone pretty quick. Like there really ain't much of a smell. Even the paint, like because I use a Monster Maker's latex paint. Like it's not cheap, but I like what it does. It works right the first time. I don't have any problems with it. I'm sure there's probably cheaper stuff or better stuff, but I'm new to painting latex myself because I'm learning. So I just went straight to them. This is like get my latex from Diddy, but it's similar to RD.
Right. Yeah, sure. I mean, if you're building a display piece, it's not on your head. You're not breathing in directly. It's not so bad. But the stuff I wear, I just sometimes you let it sit a little bit and it goes away. Like you said, it off gases and it goes away. Fortunately, some of them I don't know what the hell they used, but I waited a while and I just I can't wear this, so I sold it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've gotten some foam latex masks that smell horrid. I don't work with foam latex, so I don't know if that's normal, but like they shipped it with dryer sheets in it, so like I put dryer sheets in it too, and eventually the smell just went away altogether.
Interesting, right?
So I don't know, because I looked into foam latex once, and I was like, I already invested into silicone stuff so much. I was like, I'm not ready to, get a machine to whip it, and all the process.
Which is better, right? If you're looking to if you're looking to go towards a little higher end of a market.
Yeah, I just feel like silicone, like especially like. I'm sure there'll be people that argue, or they'll argue in the comments too. Like, I'm not a professional, like my experience. I like silicone, like I like latex too, but I just everybody got their thing. There's some people that swear by foam latex. I love foam latex masks. I will say that it is the most comfortable. One of my hard settings are foam latex. Most comfortable mask I ever wore.
Right.
It feels like a pillow on your face.
Yep.
And when it gets warm, it feels like flesh. Like that, but I prefer I haven't owned a silicone mask yet, but I've used silicone prosthetics, stuff like that, and I like them. They look real, especially if you flock them and tint them, right, to match like your, like say if you're fair skin, like you add your red, your tan, whatever, and make it look right, and you paint it. But it's all different.
It's also like preference, I guess, depending on what the person wants. So somebody might want silicone mask, somebody might want latex. It's like what for you? What's easier that you find like easier to work with?
I think latex is probably the easiest. It's not fast is the downside. Like, once you make your stone mold, hopefully your stone mold's successful. If you're new to it, you'll have some growing pains like I did with my stone molds. I'm not gonna act like these people that, show their stuff like they never had problems. No, I have a lot of problems. I am a true believer in trial by fire. So it's a very expensive way to learn, but sometimes it's better to learn that way. So like I've had better luck with like silicone, but that's for resin. But like mask making wise, I like latex, but I've never done silicone masks. I've done silicone appliances, not masks. And so when I do her new appliances, which are basically going to be a mask, is pretty close to a mask, because we're going to glue it to her face.
Yeah, that Ruby, you got a new face coming in.
Yeah, she got a new face coming, but that's the only way I can achieve the look for what we're doing with it later. I'm not going to slip up and say what it is.
Yeah, but I was hoping you did.
I know I can see it in your eyes.
Which is what? No, but but that's cool, that you guys are actually, because Matt, you and I were speaking about this a while back, talking about getting into movies and creating props and stuff for movies. That's something that you really want to do, and now that you're a part of this and you're helping bring this short film to fruition, this could be that start that you wanted to get into films. Like John, you were saying this too. Hey, somebody's going to see that. Oh wow, who created this? Oh, that's Matt. Matt and Ruby. Creepy Emporium. Oh, let's contact these guys. Maybe they can help us with these props. And then you get signed on to like one of these bigger. I know if the money's right, but one of these bigger studios, or even if it's a movie, it's independent film, but it's like a known franchise or a hot franchise now. You like, hey, listen, that's your break, that's your deal. Now, my thing is this, and I think you may have answered this on the phone with me, but storefront. Would you guys want to ever have a storefront? And maybe 20, 30 years down the line, you retire, you have a store with all different designs, everything that you guys created. Is that something that you could see in the future?
I wouldn't personally want that as a goal of mine. What?
Well, I was gonna say, like, we have product in a store.
Yeah, like
it's not our own store.
Like I have product that's in a year-round Halloween, horror store, like oddity store that's here.
That's what I remember you were telling me that too. Yeah. What's the store? By the way, plug the store.
Right now they go by Halloween Light, but they're changing their name. I think the Little Shop of Horrors or something like that here, or Louisville Shop of Horrors. They told me when I was on the phone with them, a few weeks ago, and I don't know if they officially changed the name because they're moving locations because they're growing. But they do have a YouTube channel too.
Halloween Life.
Yeah, it's called Halloween Life. So if people want to check them out, they go there. They will be having my stuff on their website too. So
the website just got better. Added
it. They're a really cool store. Like they got a bunch of cool stuff. They got oddities. They got a lot more mask makers than me. They got a little bit of everything. It's really cool shop. Like the people are really cool too. It's a nice couple owns it. They're really cool people, down to earth. They just want to, get stuff out there to people like us, that enjoy this kind of stuff. It's a great little store. I buy stuff from them every time I go. I go drop my stuff off, and I'm buying stuff off. It's like,
and it's probably going to be easier to do something like that too, because it's a lot of work. And I remember you were telling me something also, like in your family, you had, I'm not, throw it out there, but you had a family member that had a store, ran a store. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of effort and energy to run it and to maintain it. And
we ran a business for a while. It wasn't necessarily a store.
Well, but it
was a contracting business. We talked about that before. Like, decisions I had to make, stuff like that. It's just I don't want to deal with that. I like my freedom I have now, because once you go to brick and mortar, that's it. It comes first, and I like the way it is right now.
Especially with social media platforms. You can do more sales and reach a further audience, or bigger audience. Social media platforms, brick and mortar for certain businesses can certainly be advantageous. It's nice to have a showroom to display your work, but you have to drive traffic there just as you would on a social media platform.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, hey, it's nice. I mean, I wish we had Halloween stores all year round. That's for sure.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we will, man. Maybe that's what I got to do. Maybe I got to create a horror 365 store just to encapsulate, encompass everybody on the team and what they, what you guys bring to the table and display everything.
Yeah. Well, look at Manhattan, Jim. You have Abracadabra, right? We have friends at Abracadabra, friends that work there, and then there's another store in the city. I don't know if it's 6th Avenue. I forgot exactly where, but they're around all year, but not so much custom prop, props and things like that, accessories. They have a lot of stuff, a lot more mass-produced stuff. Nothing, at least to my recollection, there's nothing really custom.
Yeah, it's kind of like we have a store called Caulfield's Novelty here in Louisville, where we're from Kentucky. They've been around for over 100 years, and they're locally owned and operated. They're year round, but they got some stuff, custom stuff, not much, but they sell like your commercial line, but they also get vintage Halloween stuff in too that they'll like trade and stuff.
Nice.
Cool little store. It's really it's actually trying to think of it. It's more known than I thought it was because I joined some of these ghost face groups and apparently like they all know this store. I'm just like, wow, I didn't think anyone did. I just thought it was like a little store that's been in our town forever, and like people buy from like everywhere.
That's cool.
Wild.
Yeah.
And that store I'm selling in is actually like they want to be like them one day. Like they opened their own store and they said they're not trying to be competition. They want to be like them, but with their own spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
You have two different kinds. You have one that does the oddities and the props like I do.
Right.
But, they want all independent mask makers is their goal, though, instead of having, the masks like, Trick or Treat Studios and all that.
Right.
Fun world. They just want independent. So they want it to be like, if you want a commercial, go to Caulfield's. If you want something independent, come to us, is basically what I understood. I don't want to speak for them, but that's the way I understood it when I was talking to them when I first got into their store over there. Like there ain't many of them out there.
No, there's not. I mean, you have yours, like you said. I know, John, you were talking Abracadabra. We have our own up here, and like you have one store down there and one store. They're scattered. You get those little hidden gems too. You come across when you travel in different towns. I know, and it is a lot of work though, man. Thinking about it now, bringing it up, it's probably easier just to run it, operate it from your house and, have your online store and just, sell your stuff through social media and whatnot like that. And also if you get into the movies, which I'm confident you guys are going to get in, go in that direction, that's where it's at, man. And that's, I know ultimately what you and I were talking about, like that's really where you want to be.
Yeah, that is our future goal.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's something, dude, speaking of movies, I was trying to, and I had a meeting earlier with the team and we were talking about some things. One of the things we were talking about is potential films in the future. That's not anytime soon, but like starting to move in that direction. Like there's two different scripts. One of them I'm personally working on, which I have no idea how to put together a movie script at all. I'm just jotting things down. I'm like Stallone in this shit in a notebook. So I'm writing everything down. So, like if we ever end up, or I shouldn't say when we create this film or one of these films, definitely going to need your help. Matt, Ruby, John, you three, definitely going to need your help, man. For this.
Totally down for it.
What was that?
I'm totally down for it.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%, man. Like, I appreciate that because there's some crazy kills I have in mind for this. I can't unveil that. I can't, but I'll tell you off air. But I want you to unveil some of those things that I seen lurking below over there. What's going on down there?
Yeah, let's see some goodies. Come on, let's see some goodies, Matt.
Well, let's see. We already showed you the Freddy glove.
Oh, I thought you said let's see some goodies. I thought Matt was gonna like, all right, you want?
Yeah. This is a saw that we do not take to any conventions. This is my Army of Darkness. This is my personal copy. My personal saw. This is the only one I've made for me.
Is it working?
No, all mine are static props.
Okay.
Because I don't need to get hurt. But we thought about making a working one. It's just when you get in that, it gets really hairy with the convention. dimensions.
Sure. No, it's
because we use metal bars and stuff like that. But this isn't Army of Dark. This is like the pit scene is what I was going for. You know, I sculpt my own grills, so because the grills you get on
there you go. You're reading my mind, Ruby.
Because I'm not looking at the camera. Yeah. So I sculpt my own grills, so they're as close as possible. You know, I rough cut the handle like they did for the movie, move the switch. I put all the accurate gaps. These are real welds. I don't use aluminum. I weld it steel. And the cuff is actual rolled steel. I rolled steel, and I actually cut in the keyhole from it because they use a shackle in that part. But you know, then you got the miscut here because they did use the saw from Evil Dead 2 for that scene. If I remember correctly off the top of my head, I think there's 2 saws in that movie. But that is my Army of Darkness. I don't get to show it off because we don't take it to conventions. It usually stays on the shelf and I look at it.
So the only thing stopping you from using it is the metal blade, yeah?
Oh, I can use the metal bar. It's just I didn't want to make it motorized because at the conventions they already don't like the metal bar, but they deal with it because I take the
blade off.
No, I keep the chain on, but I dull it. I dull it smooth. I should have brought one of the cosplay ones, the ones we use at the convention, because we remove all the sharp ends.
Okay.
But we keep the metal bar because I like to get it as accurate as possible. I am working on a lightweight bar, but if I do a lightweight bar, it can't be animatronic. And plus, I'm gonna have to find a different chain pitch or something to make them automated too, because the sprockets don't match up. Because the organ bar doesn't technically fit that chainsaw that they use for that one. But
that's incredible.
We get on the chainsaw rant. We'll be here for an hour.
That's incredible. It's just putting that together from scratch.
Now this is my one thing that I look at. You know, the one thing I'm like, I don't know, I'm looking at it, Ruby. I'll raise it. But this is the one thing that I look at. I can't believe I made. Like, this is my Evil Dead one. This is the real one. This ain't the resin. So this has the real bone in it with the Invisible Man kit.
Now, I gotta ask, okay, what chicken was it that you guys ate?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
We got it from the gas station. We got it from KFC. We got it from
Roosters.
There's a hot wing place called Roosters
around here. Get some sponsorship from them, man.
Right.
Yeah. And some of these bones, like, I had to take them and grind them down, like the actual real bone. So, like, these are real. So, on my resin copies, I removed these for the molding process, and I had to mold chicken bones so they would fit.
Wow.
So, I actually have a mold downstairs for chicken drum legs. And the cage up here is probably the hardest part because it's separate. So, I molded that separate, and I have to cast them in resin and trim them out. So this is the real rib cage, but the copies I make, I gotta trim all these pieces out.
Now, does the resin harden the bone enough, or is it fragile?
So this is strong. Now the resin copies, like, you could throw them and they're usually fine. But like this one, it's pretty strong. Like the bones are just pain. Like I boil them, you know, to get all the meat off, and you know, boil them in OxyClean, you know, so they're clean. All that, then I paint them, then I seal it. Using real bone, you know, you're also going to have problems. Like, they're eventually going to rot.
Right.
And I'll have to replace them. But luckily, I have these cast in resin, so when they do rot, I'm just going to cast them in resin and put them back on because this is all sculpted. I sculpted it out of milliput, which is like, if you're in the prop making, milliput is your best friend. It's like $8 for a tube at like Hobby Lobby. Like you do anything, it's machinable, sandable, everything, and it comes in like a epoxy.
Yeah, that looks great, man. Nice.
That's the real one. The resin ones are the ones I post the most because, you know, those are the ones I'm making for the public. But this is my personal copy.
Nice.
I worked on it for 2 months.
That's incredible, man. Like I was just quiet because, like, I want everybody to see what you have going on as you're breaking it down over there.
Yeah. Ton of sweat equity, man. Ton of sweat equity.
I also make stands for them now too. Those are really cool.
I was gonna say, you need to have that up on the wall.
Yeah. I got a really cool from a guy, Hammond Sculpt.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I bought
John.
his,
Yeah, I know John. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought Cheryl, right? Always mix their
Yeah.
names up. Yeah, I got the Cheryl bust from him, and I laid
Mhm.
that with my Peyton Patron.
I've heard.
He does
I've heard.
sculpting.
Yeah.
I bought his burn book cover from ED1. He did a burn book cover. I bought his and I painted it and binded it to a book. So I have a little display. So I got Cheryl, I got the dagger, I got the burn book, and I got the collector's edition Evil Dead VHS tapes up there
Nice.
with it all in a little shrine. I got ED1 book I need to do from Brett's Groovy Chainsaws. He sculpted it. Brett's a hell of a builder too. He sculpted it. I just ain't got around to painting it yet. I bought one of his covers before he stopped doing those.
Okay.
And I'll have both books from Evil Dead 1. Evil Dead 1's my favorite one out of all of them.
The original?
Yeah, everybody thinks it's Evil Dead 2 with me. I was like, no, I like the saws from that. I like Evil Dead 1 the best. Like, that's her favorite too.
Yeah.
Did you? When did you get your Cheryl bust from him? Do you remember how long ago? From John, from Hammond?
About 6-8 months ago. It was before he redid the new one. It ain't the new
okay. So you got hit with the price hike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get the blue or red? The one with the blue or the red?
It was blue, yeah.
Blue? Okay.
Yeah, I got it downstairs. I look at it every time I go down. He does amazing work.
It is incredible. I have that stuff. I have his Nosferatu, Cheryl bust, and his Salem's Lot, his Barlow.
Yeah,
on my bucket list. So
Nosferatu is one of my favorite films.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But my favorite film is not a horror movie.
That's okay. We won't.
I remember. I remember. I think my memory serves me correct. Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jurassic Park, 1993.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were going to say something like Ghost or
like Ghost.
Which is, no judgment if you do. Or
Jurassic Park 1993 is the effects they did in that movie.
Yes.
To this day, stand up, and I love dinosaurs. So
when I get my basement reno finished, I got to show you my JP collection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have Prime One, Iron Studios, Sideshow. I have all of that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a dinosaur heaven down there.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I had room for that stuff. Like one day I'll get my shop together, and I promised I was going to do a collection video like 6 months ago because my collection is pretty big, like just horror and because like my page I show stuff I collect too. I got so much stuff. Like if you went in my basement, which is my shop, you think you're like a horror convention threw up down there. Like, it's everywhere. Like it's everywhere. Like there's photographs everywhere. It's just
check out Prime One though. Prime One Studio. They just came out with a new small line. The sculpts look really good, and they start from Jurassic Park through Fallen Kingdom and Lost World, everything. So if you have a dinosaur addiction also like I do, then it doesn't break the bank so much, and you're getting really well detailed and very nicely painted statues from the movies.
I think we own one of their pieces. I gotta look at it. We got it for a Christmas gift from someone. It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a couple Velociraptors. I gotta look at it sometime. I think it is from them.
Okay.
Like I've had it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's a really nice piece. It's licensed and everything, which I'm assuming Prime One is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all licensed. Nice. Hey, no worries. Snap a picture, send it to me. I'll take a look. On
I think
IG
it should be on the bottom. I'll have to flip it up and look at it. I got a lot of stuff. I got too much stuff.
No, but that's a good choice, man. I guess it's not technically horror, but it's still pretty damn scary when you're sitting on the toilet and then a T-Rex comes creeping into the toilet.
It's to die, bro. Like I want to release my bowels. I want to be in peace, and boom, here's a big T-Rex, and I'm dead.
And all kidding is
my bowel.
Oh my God, was it Gennaro? Right, the guy's name was Gennaro. Yeah. So I think I don't know if it's Prime One or Iron Studios. They actually made a diorama of that scene. It's like it's fun.
Yeah,
I'm like the poor guys on the crapper, and they got the T-Rex about to eat him.
Would that be like the Friday Part 5 of non-horror?
Yeah. So when Damon was in
Miguel Nunez.
when we bring 2 saws to the show, and like we'll bring the flat top, which is the work shed saw from Evil Dead 2, and we'll also bring the prop top, and like people freak, especially when they see like the grapher tape that's on it and miscuts. Like your hardcore fans are like trip about that stuff.
And they're out there.
Yeah, they're out there with. And I got one of the best compliments ever on my Evil Dead 2 because there's a guy that's way better than me at this, and someone thought that was his saw. And when they asked if it was his saw, I told them, "Oh no, it's mine." Like I was sitting there, I was like, "Holy shit, I did something right." I'm like, "Cause he's better than me, like way better than me, like." And I was able to match his quality. I'm happy automatically.
But you have to have a lot of patience to put in the detail that you guys do.
It'll drive you nuts.
But listen, man, it pays off. I'm telling you, like when you came up there, everybody at the Waldorf, those that came out and they seen your mash that were on and even the chainsaws, nothing but positive feedback that I've heard, from you guys and also from them, from the people that purchased the mash. So I mean, you guys are doing something right, 100%.
That's good. I really like that. I had a good time up there, and it was kind of weird. I had one guy ask me why I was there. At first, I was like, "What do you mean? Why am I there?" He's
Why the hell are you here? Tell me.
Yeah, right. Because I'm here to test my chainsaws. Come here.
I was just like, "Well, I'm helping my buddy out, and I'm supporting his event. Like, what do you mean?" And he's just like, "I figured you'd be a famous monster." So I was in there. I was like, "I don't do conventions, dude. I don't care about that. I'm up here, to do my first event to see if I like it too, to help, help support your event out too,
I appreciate that.
It wasn't exactly a short drive, but we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you don't see.
I love going through Hell House, their, Waldorf Estate. Like that was a big deal for us. Like I love those movies, and to actually be where they shot them, and the owner, she's great too. Her name's slipping my mind right now. She was
Angela. Yeah, she's awesome.
She is awesome.
Yeah, well, it's nice, Matt, because you don't end up. Jim knows I'm a regular con goer. I usually go to at least 6 or 7, every year, and you see 1 or 2 here and there that'll do custom work, custom props, but it's some of what they're doing. A lot of it is mass-produced merchandise, so they'll have trick or treat stuff, NECA, stuff like that, and then maybe a couple of custom pieces. A lot of people are 3D printing stuff. Again, that's all fine and dandy. Not my cup of tea, but I would rather wait and get something like what you're making that's really unique and custom made. And like I said, the sweat equity and the blood, sweat, and tears is in there. And so it's nice to see that. Instead of if I was there, I would have heard that guy say, "Why are you here?" I would have probably kicked him in the ass and throw him out the door and be like, "Why isn't he here? What are you kidding? Why isn't he at every convention?" Because there are people like myself that want a better prop, whether it's to wear for cosplay or to put in their collection. And so, absolutely, it's nice to see custom work come to the conventions because there's so much. And again, I have friends that sell mass-produced stuff. Nothing wrong with it. I own mass-produced stuff, but it's still nice.
I do too.
Yeah, it's nice to see the custom stuff, and it looks like you're bringing the A game, baby. So I'm gonna have to leave my credit card at home when I see you. But if you're setting up a table, but no, it's great, man. Just keep it up. F the naysayers. You're gonna get 99.9% all positive feedback. The horror community is fantastic, and even if they can't afford to buy your work, they're gonna at least tell you how much they appreciate it. So, yeah.
I appreciate it. Luckily, I've had good experience so far. I'm sure the nightmares will come along with doing what I did. It's inevitable. You can't make everyone happy,
Oh, I know.
And I'm not. I'm gonna do the best I can, and we still can't work it out at the end of the day. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do. I'm gonna do what I do. you know how I am, Jimmy. You've dealt with me, like
Matt, here's why I love it, man. You're honest, you're a straight shooter, and you're a hard worker. Same thing with you, Luke. Same thing. You guys have been a blessing. Since
you got to know your worth, and that's the thing. You know, you'll have an item at a convention. Let's say it's $400, $500. Somebody will say, "Oh, will you take 250?" Like, are you kidding? Like, come, you know, you'll get that too. Unfortunately,
yeah.
But you know, you learn how to deal with it. You know, you learn how to deal with that.
Bro, like, I'm not a used car salesman, man. This is product. It's like I'm selling original pieces here. This is custom made. Like, this is the price.
That's right.
And most people that do this stuff, they already price this stuff pretty close to like you really don't make a whole lot off of it. Like, people think like say, let's just use ballpark numbers. Say like you pay, you know, $30 for like material on an item, and you're going to sell the thing for upwards of 150. They don't realize, like, yeah, the material costs that much, but you ain't there for the 30 hours they put into putting it together.
Yeah.
You weren't there for the 5 years, you know, or whatever, you know, learn how to do it, even if it wasn't for that sort of thing, you know, just from experience. Like, you don't have you're paying for the talent, and to have it done, it's done right, it looks good, you know.
Of course, and you have to travel, and you have to pay for a hotel, and you have to pay for food and fuel and your table. So there's a lot of expenses, to go to a convention, and a lot of people don't understand that. And so I've never done that. And I bought a lot of things at conventions, and I'll just either decide I can afford it or I can't.
Yeah.
Not going to nickel and dime anybody, try to haggle them, because I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, like you do got people out there though that do price hike on stuff.
Of course,
it's in everything, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm pretty reasonable. Like, you know, I do work with people too. You know, like if I talk to you, like I'll work with you, like, you know.
Yeah, but it's different. You're doing custom, you know. I've interacted with guys that will take something from NECA or whatever else, something, and it's in a box, you know, mass produced item that you can buy in most places. Let's say it's $100 and they're selling it for 175.
Yeah,
at a convention, and I'm like, you know, I'm okay paying a little more to support a small business.
Yeah,
but not almost twice the price.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
The scalpers are a problem too when it comes to mass produced. Like, I play. In fact, I play Magic the Gathering too, and like the other day I was picking up some stuff. And I literally picked up 2 things that are hard to find, and literally a scalper came behind me, bought every one of them, and I know they're going to put it online for double the price.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, giving people a chance to get it. You know, that happens with toy collectibles. It happens in everything. Unfortunately, that's out there. But then those scalpers hurt the people that are just wanting to give, you know, fair pricing on stuff too, but you can't help that. You know, if there's money, people are going to do it. They don't care.
They even do that with VIP tickets at conventions. You know, they do that at all. I've seen it at many of the conventions. NYCC, the scalpers buy out all the 4-day passes, and then Saturday passes, the things that sell out first. And then they're out there, you know, jacking up the prices and making it unaffordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that's what comes with it. You know. Like, it's a downside.
Nothing you can do about it with these guys, but you know,
they've been doing it a long time.
That's why it's personal. It really comes down to like personal relationships you build with with the clients, because they know you, and I think like that goes a long way, man. It does. And just that's why I think you guys really need to, in my opinion, maybe come out to more conventions and start selling more at conventions when you get the time, because you'll start to network. You know this already. I don't got to tell you, and you'll start to build those relationships with people. And you know, like anytime we have something going on, you know, you guys have a free spot no matter what. You know, get up there and
we'll try to come to any of yours just to help support you. Like,
and that we appreciate over here, because
because you need people there too. You know, you get the product there. You know, man, it's just fun for us. We like to travel. We don't mind. Like,
and I love networking too. Like meeting the people. Like online, the online sales mainly are dealing with that. And then when we're in public, I know I'm a little shy on the camera and things like that. In person though, totally
she's
different.
gotten us a lot of work and opportunities. Like they're all from her, not me. Basically, like I'll be talking to someone, and she'll go to the bathroom, and she'll come back with like the owners of events, and I'm just like, what is this? And the next thing you know, we're in conversations with said owners because I don't want to give names out because we're still.
Yeah, you're not giving nothing to me. I'm not working with nothing.
You know how I run my business. Like if I tell someone I ain't gonna say nothing, I won't. It's like like if I say
fold under the pressure, man.
I will. I'm hoping to have this opportunity wrapped up soon, like so I can announce it. As soon as they get green lighted, it's going to be all over my page. Like,
if it's all over your page, it's all over Horror 365.
Yeah, well, you know that. I didn't think I had to say
it. and anything I can incorporate, anything I can incorporate into my future builds. Yeah, like I said, we can collaborate on.
Yeah. Let me know. Like I'm always interested, and if I am too busy at the time, I'd like to tell everyone this. Like, if I'm too busy, I will straight up tell you I will not waste your time. But like, I hate people that waste people's time.
Yes.
And so, like, if I am too busy, I will straight up tell you, like, I would love to help you, but this isn't the time. But,
of course,
you just get with me, and I would love to help you with anything because your shit already looks great. And so, if I can get someone creative from a different angle, and we can communicate, like, we do stuff, Well,
it's a win-win. Promotes you. Promotes your brand. Makes my cosplays look even more badass. And
I'm more worried about your cosplay looking badass. I don't and that's the bad part about me. I'd rather the customer or the person I'm working with, their stuff look amazing. Right. If I get a little tag on the end of it, I'm happy too. But at the end of the day, as long as the project goes the way it looks good, and I can be like, hey, look at this guy. Like I helped him do that.
Well, the good thing is you're with a group of people that all think like you do. So rather than promoting themselves, they'll be happy to promote your work as it should be, as it should be. And we all do that. Like I said, I have a couple of YouTube videos. Most of my Instagram is just showcasing statues and stuff I have in some cosplays. I don't really do too much. I'm like you. I'm not big on social media. That's where Jimmy comes in and the rest of the team comes in. But I like to share and promote. I have a lot of custom busts and things like that, and I like to share that with everybody. So
I love sharing my stuff too, and I always tag them too because I don't want people thinking I'm stealing their work. Apparently there's a big problem with that right now. I don't know what. I don't understand it, but whatever.
Well, that's been going around for a while, man.
Yeah, it's like spiked up. I think it's because it's the time of the year that we're filming this. I think it's that time of the year where everybody's getting riled up and people are ripping other people's stuff off just trying to make a quick buck.
Yep.
Just like I'm pretty good about it. People ask me like where did I get my blanks from, or if I sculpt them, I just tag the person that I got it from, and I'll paint their product. Because like I use other people's stuff, but I always give them credit. Like
of course.
I got some this year. I got some new stuff coming out that's mine, so it'll be 100% mine. Like
nice.
Awesome.
So what stuff?
You knew that question was coming.
I will be offering. I still got my Part 7. Your resin mask. We will have I'm gonna try to get Freddy versus Jason. Resin, and that I'm gonna sculpt. And I'm gonna do Freddy versus Jason, where he's in the dream world with Freddy when he gets claws on the mask. Get that sculpted. Those are 2 masks that I'm gonna start offering this year. Once I get those finished up and molded. So those are like my 2 big masks. I'm hoping to sculpt the Part 6, so I can start doing Part 6 in resin this year also. I'm trying to get a resin lineup. So I have the resin masks are all for me, then the vacuum form ones that are, a lot of people don't realize like almost all the masks from the movies are vacuum form, and but people like the resin ones because they want a heavy mask. Your collectors, which I get it, that's cool. I'll still get my vacuum form ones from my buddy who runs Top Notch Hocks replicas. He's the best in the business for that. That's where a lot of my blanks come from. It's him, great guy. But so I will have some Freddy versus Jason resin masks coming. and hopefully a resin part 6 coming this year, and it's gonna be really cool.
Nice.
And oh yeah, I forgot, I bought the off top notch hawk replicas. I bought their Jason X that they were selling the buck with the rights to produce it that they made. So I bought that, and I'm gonna do a pour of that and resculpt it, and have a resin copy that's mine too.
Nice.
That's based off of his sculpt, but I'm gonna change it where it's mine too. So we got some cool masks coming this year. I'm trying to lean more on resin, you know. So like,
no, nice.
Like the business, like the sales side is still growing. Even though I'm going towards movie, I will always sell stuff still. I'll still make the stuff. I love making it just because, say, if I start making movies, like I'll still be selling stuff because I like making these hockey masks. Like they're not going nowhere.
Yeah, that's the foundation of the brand. It was you started.
Oh yeah, like
it's always
wasn't for them. There wouldn't be me. There wouldn't be what we have today.
And it's still growing. And you guys, and you know what? With you and Ruby, both of you guys at the head of it, I know the operation. I know it's going to be. It already is successful, but you guys are going to take it to another level, just because of the kind of people that you are. And Ruby, you're right. When you're in person, I seen you even out there at at the event at the Waldorf. You're shaking and baking. You're around here talking to people, man. You're making moves out there. She's out there getting sales.
She gets us a lot of work. Me a lot of work. Which I appreciate. It's cool. The whole thing's cool. Like it's kind of weird. Kind of weird when you always want to meet these people, and then you're starting to hang out with them after the show. Some of the celebrities, because you talk to them so much and you become friends with them, and it's just weird. Just because like I made a mask, they look good. Then I made daggers and chainsaws, and they see the costumes. Like it's pretty wild. I'm sure he's had it too, or like the celebrities notice. Like if they notice your costume, like they're around it.
Oh yeah. Oh
like,
yeah.
You did something.
Yep.
If they say something, because
they
see the A game stuff, where they're even on the indie level, B level, like they're seeing like if they say something to you, like you're just like, oh shit, maybe I did something on accident or on purpose, Mine,
when they come over,
accident,
when they come over to take a selfie with you, the celebs,
yeah,
that's when I've had a couple of nice surprises throughout the conventions, for sure.
Yeah, because I was a part 8 at Scarefest, and I'm horrible with the celebrities' names and the from movies. I'm bad with names in general, but the main lead from part 8 and the teacher, the woman teacher, I forgot her name too. God, this kills me. But dude, I came back in my part 8 costume. I told them, and they both took selfies with me the next day because I got their autograph the day before, and they said, "Come back, we want to see it," because they don't do conventions. I think this is like the second or third convention they ever did at the time. And they both took pictures with me. They're like, it's just cool when they want to take a picture of their phone with you. So the year before, when I was part 7, you had a demon. I forgot his name. I know his movie name because he's one of the funniest characters from the Friday the 13th franchise, even though he has a small part.
Yeah,
he shot a video with me. There's a Freddy, and I was part 7 Jason, and he shot this little video shit just because he wanted to, because he thought the costumes were so cool.
Awesome.
It was really cool. I'd have to reshare it sometime. I think it's on my Instagram.
Oh, okay.
But he just did it on his own. He's like told everybody to get their cameras out. And he like set up this little skit. He's like, y'all do this, and I was just like, that's just so fucking cool when that happens.
Absolutely, for sure.
And it's a good feeling. It's a compliment to your cosplay.
Oh yeah.
Demon Miguel, who you're referring to, man, he has so much energy in life. That's why I'll never forget, even when I was at Living Dead weekend a couple years back, Monroeville Mall, and I seen him out there, and I was like, he's in the corner. I don't think they knew he was there. He was just sitting down. He didn't have an agent with him. So I said, oh, Miguel. I says, come on, man. I said, we got to do it. I said, what do we need? What do we need to do? I said, we got to do the ooh, baby. And he's like, oh, hell yeah. So he jumped up and we did it. And they, even after that, it drew attention to everybody. They're like, oh, wow, Miguel. Because everybody was on Linnea Quigley's line. And, I guess it was a smaller room in there. So then, he started getting more people, traffic flowing. But he had so much energy, man. And it was great. Even seeing him on the panel and how he was talking and holding it down. It was, I love that. When you meet a celebrity and they have that kind of vibe and energy, because you meet some sometimes it's not the best experience. You know, it's underwhelming.
Yeah.
And you know, but then you meet those that
Yep.
you didn't even think, like maybe you didn't even know that person, maybe you didn't even think this person was like that, and they just blow your mind. They supersede your expectations. So Miguel was one of those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. That's why I was nervous when I met Tom Savini a
Uh,
little bit, because I was just like, all right, all that work, effort, finally get to meet him, right? Lug the crate down to Atlantic City. And I had heard that sometimes he's had bad days at conventions, and some days he catch me, he's on a good day, he's having a good day, and so I was just like, oh boy. But thankfully, I was pleasantly surprised, and he was a very nice experience. He was very receptive, and he actually had the photographer take a couple of photos of me and him for himself, and told him, said give him copies also without charging me. So yeah, it was very nice experience that I had meeting Tom Savini. Thank goodness, I was so relieved. If you could have seen the amount of sweating I had in that suit, man.
Yeah, that's a big deal, you know. Like,
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite special effects artists too. You know, like I get what you mean.
yeah. I was like, is he gonna walk over and be like, "What is this piece of shit? Are you kidding me?" Like,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, he was. Yeah, I have the video. I gotta, Jim. We'll talk about how maybe we can show that experience. I have a couple, two good videos from that encounter.
Yeah,
So
I'd like to see it.
yeah, we could see how we can maybe highlight that somewhere.
Oh, absolutely, man.
So
Absolutely. Any videos also, like we were talking about this too earlier, Matt. If you guys document, you know, putting or creating something, any one of your creations, you want to document it, and then, you know, we can show maybe
the
scene,
making of.
yeah, the making of. I could, you know, spice it up a little bit, edit it up, and pop it up there as extra content on either the YouTube or, you know, Instagram, Facebook, something like that.
Yeah, I do got footage doing like a live cast. It's just dude, it's, you know how it is getting older than me in general. Like, I don't sleep, it seems like, but you know, I'm always busy. So like we got content, you know, a little bit because we were wanting to start to post it on our YouTube, which I'd be fine with posting on both of ours.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, that's what I'm
if you want
saying.
to edit it, you know, we can put it on both of them. I think that'd be cool because you know we did a live cast on Ruby. You know, we just set it up in the top while we were working on it. You know, just ran it the whole time.
Like the camera.
It even shows the little hiccup we had because I don't hide nothing. Like I like even I want people to know. Like that was my plan when I make the videos. Like I want you to see when I was like, oh shit, when I put the cotton balls on too late for the alternate, the mother mold, you know, to stick to the mother mold. Like there was an oh shit moment, but it ended up working out. And also, you know, I showed like, like we had a little malform in the nose, but luckily for the purpose of the life cast, the nose ain't important for what we're going to use it for any of the projects we're using it for. You know, I like to show that stuff too. Like, I'm not perfect, you know, like, but you see that I didn't give up, you know, I made it work.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people need to see too. Like, just because it's a failure doesn't mean you just throw it away. Like, you can make it work. It just got a lot harder, you know?
Well, if anything, it just goes to show how much, like, let's say that one didn't work out, second attempt maybe does, or third attempt maybe does, but
Yeah,
at least you
sometimes it
show.
could be 5 or 6. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and that's important. People can see that. They appreciate the effort you put into making a product, whether it's for sale or cosplay.
yeah,
And and you know, there are times where I go back and I look at the little video clips I have, and the photos of the crate, and I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, I'm looking at it. Holy shit! How did I do that? Like I can't believe I did it. Like I can't believe I actually pulled it off. And so it kind of helps motivate you the next time around. Like now I have these couple of projects I mentioned going into on my mind, and I'm thinking, do I start here? Do I start there? Do I start this? And it's just like, okay, take a deep breath. Remember, you can do this.
yep,
Baby steps. Don't get overwhelmed. And so,
Place some
and
eye on the
and
tiger.
yeah, and it's good. And again, it helps. So the nice thing about the cosplay community, as you know, is we all rely on each other for stuff like this. I have very good friends that cosplay, and we'll all lean on each other. Say, hey, how did you do this? What did you use for that? I've watched a ton of how-to videos from other cosplayers and making of behind the scenes stuff, and sometimes when you show the mistakes, see, that's the thing. I like to see videos where you see the mistakes people made, not just the successes, because then you learn, okay, wow, maybe I can save myself some pain and suffering. And to me, I love seeing that. I like seeing the roller coaster ride of, the dust is everywhere, and then finally it settles, and there you have it, the product. It's done. Hallelujah.
Yeah, like I love some of these videos I watch where it looks like a science lab clean.
Yeah.
You look at my workspace where I make my molds, it looks nothing. It looks like a bomb went off. Like, because like sometimes you're working on something and like shit don't go right, and you got to fix it now. You don't care if it gets anywhere. Like, you got to do it now, or you just wasted all that money.
Oh my goodness.
Like, so like I got plaster, I got resin. Like, I bought the cheapest table I could because I was like, it's going to be destroyed, which it is destroyed. I did have my first big failure the other day. That was kind of heartbreaking. I made a mold and I put like $250 into it plus 3 days of labor just to figure out the air bubble.
Oh geez.
And I was like, well, we're throwing this away, and we had to start completely over because there's no saving it at that point. Like, because it wasn't even somewhere where I could cast the mask out of it and fix it later. Because sometimes you can rework the mask and fix it and get the imperfection out.
Did you figure out where the mistake was though?
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, okay, all right.
It was 100% my fault.
Okay, well, at least you know what the problem was, and you don't have to go through it again, right? So,
like, we're remodeling our house, so when I work on this stuff, like sometimes I'll set it up in the kitchen, and then I'll have, while this is kicking, waiting for this silicone to kick off, I'll go work on something else. Well, I came back through, and I just wasn't thinking. And you're supposed to use your fingernail sometimes to see how tacky it is, see if it's ready for because I was doing a brush mold. Gotcha. And I put my big stupid finger on it and it popped it off a little bit. I was just like, I just ruined this mold.
Oh no.
I was like, well, it's too late. Let's see what happens. Maybe I'll get lucky. And I didn't. So I was like,
well, hopefully at least you didn't also burn dinner at the same time while you're working on the mold and you got dinner in the oven.
I
and
have cooked dinner. And it's funny because I have made molds while cooking dinner. Like, I'll have the table behind me. Then I'll be cooking on the stove. Then I'll be like, okay, because I have all these timers set. I'm like, all right, it's time to do this. Usually, I'm a regular person. Like I'm not one of these people that have like a 3,000 square foot building out in the back, or like I got to do this when I got time,
Yeah, sure.
Like, I live at work and I visit my home. Then when I'm home, I'm working on this stuff. Then I have to make time for her and the animals too,
Yeah, of course.
Like,
true craftsman.
Just by my trade,
Listen, we're all jugglers here, man. We juggle a lot. That's how it goes, and we do what we love, and it shows that you have passion behind it, you guys. It really incredible. And John, you too, man, with the cosplays. So
thanks.
I think we have. I keep saying I think, but I know we have a really good team here. Judging by all of you, not me. Forget me, but like you guys, I want to surround myself with good people, and everybody here, everybody that we spoke to earlier on the meeting that we had, just really good individuals. And I can't wait to see what the future holds. I really can't. I know I can see you guys collabing on some stuff. I want to get some stage designs for future events down the line, and maybe some props for movies, things that we could definitely talk about. But I know we talked quite a bit, and we can continue to talk. I want to wrap it up, but I want you guys to have the floor right now. Plug everything that you got going on. Matt, Ruby, the floor is yours. Let everybody know where they could find you and what else is going on, what's coming up.
Oh, yeah. The best place to get a hold of us is Instagram. We do have Facebook, but Instagram's the best, Creepy Emporium Props and FX. I've replied almost any hour of the day, but you will get a reply from me. So don't worry if it's 2, 3 in the morning. I do have a website, creepyemporium.com. It rarely has things on it because most of the time people deal with me directly through Instagram, but you can check that out. I also got an eBay. You can search me on eBay under the same name, and I have stuff listed on there also if you're interested. Or if you just want to say what's up, send me a message on there. I'll reply. Like, I'm a normal person just like everyone else,
Aliens in My Attic. Check it out. I'm a little slow to post stuff, but we'll hopefully change that, right, Jim?
We're gonna get things rolling.
Yeah. No, not much. Look, just it's always a good time chatting, meeting with people, seeing the team grow, and I look forward to collaborating with the Creepy Emporium crew, and also getting together at a future event. And all I say is, cosplayers, come on, build them, get into it, have fun with it, come on out. It's all a big happy family. Let's have some fun. Monster Mania in March, I'll be there, and don't know what else after that, but most likely Monster Mania, and I think it's August or whatever. But yeah, get on those calendars, buy those tickets, build those cosplays. Come on out, let's have some fun.
That's the most important thing, guys. Having fun. That's
Absolutely.
it. You know, you live once. I always say I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
Right.
And it's always a good time with good people. And I can't wait to see everybody at the conventions, you know, next year, and then eventually down the line at a future event of Horror 365. So with all that being said, you know where to find them, Creepy Emporium. And, you know, I got to give them a shout out because they are the show sponsor, Creepy Emporium. He plugged it. That was my job. So I guess you have to deduct something off that sponsorship. That's it. No, but yeah, man, these guys, since, you know, I said it before, I'll say it again, was blown away with this that you gave me over here. And I'm going to show it again because I love it that much. Boom. There's that hop right there. And
very nice. Very nice.
And I look at it every day, and I appreciate you guys, and just real stand-up individuals you are, and just class act, hardworking. It shows, and I'm really happy to have you a part of the team and a part of the family. So thank you for being you. Same thing with you, John. Thank you for being you as well, buddy. You know,
likewise, Jim. Thanks for bringing us all together.
Yeah, you know, teamwork makes the dream work. I can't do it alone. If I did, it wouldn't be as good as it is. You know, so you know, even like I said, talking about cosplays real quick. You know, when I met you too over at the NJ, I think it was down in Atlantic.
Yeah, it was NJ HorrorCon. Yeah.
Yeah, with the suicide zombie, I think it was.
Yes, from Return. Yep.
Absolutely incredible, man.
Thanks.
And this is what it's about. It's about coming out, having a good time, enjoying what you love with other people that love the same thing that you love. Say that fast 5 times. But folks, it's another episode of Horror 365. I appreciate you tuning in. You know what to do. Subscribe below if you haven't done so already. Follow us on Instagram at HorrorHeads365. On Facebook, that's the baby. 35K. I'm proud of that. 35,000 followers. F you, Meta, for messing with the algorithm, because I know you're doing it. You want me to pay for ads. I'm not doing it, okay? That's it. We're organic, baby. That's a 35K. Stop shadow banning me, okay? But get on there. That's where the action's at. We got a ton more things happening. It's 2024. A lot coming your way this year. So, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. And thank you all here. And thank you, Horrorheads, for celebrating horror not only in October, but damn it, 365. We're going to see you next week.